Have you ever felt like you're talking but nobody is really listening? I think we all have. Well, today we are diving deep into that exact challenge, the art of being heard.
I mean, think about it. We live in a world just jam-packed with noise, right? We're all trying to be heard over the constant static, and it doesn't matter if you're a CEO, a teacher, or just trying to have a real conversation with a friend. The question is always the same. How do you actually get your message to cut through all of that and, stick? So where do we even begin to look for answers? Well, a really fascinating study we're looking at today found them in a place you might not expect, the art of the Sunday sermon. And it turns out the core principles that make a message land in that setting have some powerful lessons for pretty much anyone who wants to communicate better. This quote from our source material really just nails the problem, doesn't it? Audiences today, and this is true everywhere, are skeptical. We don't just sit back and accept everything we're told. That old-school, top-down style of just declaring facts, it just doesn't fly anymore. And that brings us to the first huge mental shift we need to make. If you really want to be heard today, you have to stop thinking of communication as a speech and start seeing it for what it is, a conversation. Now, there's actually a formal name for this art of crafting sermons, homiletics. And I know it sounds a little academic, a little stuffy maybe, but its principles are about something we all try to do: persuade, connect, and speak in a way that truly matters to people. The old way of thinking about this was super simple. You had a speaker, right? And they just broadcast a message to a totally passive audience. It was a one-way street, plain and simple. But like we just said, that model is fundamentally broken. The new way of seeing it is so much more interesting. The idea now is that even when only one person is physically talking, real communication is always a dialogue. It's this active, dynamic dance where meaning is being created and interpreted on both sides of the equation. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. This diagram looks a little complicated, but stick with me, because it's a brilliant picture of this new conversational model. It shows us that a message isn't just sent and then received. Nope, it travels through all these different phases, and both the speaker and the listener are actively shaping what it means. Let's walk through it. So it all starts with phase 1, the original idea or text. Then phase 2 is when the speaker takes that idea and shapes it into a message. Phase 3 is the delivery itself, when the words are actually spoken. But here's the real kicker, phase 4. The listener isn't just a sponge. They are actively interpreting the message, creating their own understanding. It's a loop, a cycle, a real conversation. All right, so if communication is a conversation, how in the world do we get it right? Well, one study called predicteren, which just means hearing the sermon, went straight to the source. They asked audiences what actually works, and the answers boiled down to 4 essential rules for connection. And here they are. The study found that audiences really lean in when a speaker acts as a bridge builder, is lively and clear, is one with the moment, and, this one's huge, is a thought provoker. So let's break down what each of these really means. First up, be a bridge builder. Your message, whatever it is, has to connect your core idea to the listener's actual life. Deep down, your audience is always asking one simple question. So what? Why does this matter to me right here, right now? Your job is to build that bridge and give them a really good answer. Number 2, be lively and lucid. This is all about being crystal clear. And honestly, C.S. Lewis gave some of the best advice ever for this. Use simple words, use concrete images. Don't just say a situation was difficult, describe the sweat on someone's brow that shows us it was difficult. You gotta show, not just tell. It makes everything you say come alive. Third, you have to be one with the moment. What does that mean? It means the words you say are only part of the message. The entire experience is the message. Think about a great concert. It's not just the songs, right? It's the lights, the stage, the energy of the crowd. It all works together. In the same way, the structure and the whole vibe of your delivery have to support your point, not fight against it. And finally, number 4, be a thought provoker. The best messages, the ones that really stick with you for years, don't just hand you all the answers on a silver platter. No, they spark your own thinking. They ask questions that you keep chewing on long after it's over. It's about empowering the listener to wrestle with the ideas for themselves. Okay, so you could master all 4 of those rules. You could become a master bridge builder, a lucid speaker, the whole shebang, and still completely fail to connect. Because, as the study found out, there's something much, much deeper going on. It's not just about technique. Following all the rules can make you a skilled speaker, a polished performer. You can craft the perfect message and deliver it without a single flaw. But that's not enough to actually be heard.
And that brings us to what might be the single most important idea in all of this. This quote just says it all. The real secret isn't about mastering techniques. It's about being mastered by your convictions. In other words, authenticity is everything. People don't just hear your words. They feel whether or not you actually believe them. The source material points to 4 crucial character traits. Sincerity. Do you really believe this stuff? Earnestness. Does it truly matter to you? Courage. Are you willing to say what needs to be said? And humility. As one writer put it, preaching is not the performance of an hour. It is the outflow of a life. Your message is a reflection of who you are. So, where does all of this leave us? What's the point of being heard anyway? Well, that brings us to the ultimate goal. Because effective communication isn't just about getting a point across, it's about inspiring people to do something. There's this really powerful idea about what's supposed to happen after a message has truly landed. A theologian named Christoph Blumhardt put it this way: you're changed once when you hear and accept a new idea, but you have to be changed a second time when you decide to take that idea back out into the real world and live it. And that, right there, is the whole point. Truly great communication, whether it's from a pulpit or a podium or a boardroom, doesn't just end when people clap. It inspires them. It equips them to go out and take action, to create real positive change. So, I'll leave you with this to think about. Forget the techniques for a second. Forget the rules. What is a message that you are so convinced of, so passionate about, that if people truly heard it, it could actually make a difference in the world?